Shalom, shalom, family. Welcome back to the channel. I pray that everybody's doing well. Family, we're going to talk about 2021 and how we need to prepare ourselves, both spiritually and physically. Family, we're heading now into a time where we're going to really be tested. You know, our faith is going to be put to the test to see if we really believe what we profess out of our mouths. And like we discussed before, you can fix your mouth to say anything. But there's going to come a time when you have to back it up. You have to stand on exactly what you said. If not, that makes you a liar or a hypocrite. Now today we'll go through various different scriptures and we'll discuss these things of what we got to do. First of all, we're going to have to learn to start tearing ourselves away from the things that we are accustomed to. You know, we're going to have to get out of our comfort zone. You know, we have all these modern devices, which has really made the people lazy. And we're accustomed to eating 2 or 3 meals, a day, and just all kind of conveniences. And most of us, or some of us, haven't begun to feel any difficulties yet, and we praise the Most High for that. But in this coming year, we're all going to feel it, family. It's just no other way around that. Because there are steady ramping up rules and laws to make it very uncomfortable for the people, especially the people of the Most High. All right. This government is wicked. It is of Satan. Make no mistake about that. Okay. They are causing people to be in a position to where you have to be government dependent. And when you become government dependent, then you can be controlled. They can change your whole way of thinking. They can change the way that you see the Most High, the way that you operate in faith or not. A lot of different things is going to happen. So we're going to have to prepare ourselves. We're going to have to learn to separate ourselves, or beginning to know how to do with less. Get out of these comfort zones, and we don't have a lot of time to do it, family. I mean, this is almost imminent that we begin to do these things. We need to, before this panic buying starts, while everything is kind of at a lull right now, stock up on things that you can. It's not so much how much you eat, family, in a day. It's what you eat, when you eat. You can get nutritious things that you don't have to eat all day long. You know, you can eat tuna fish. You know, peanut butter has protein in it. We're going to have to discipline ourselves not to have 3 meals a day. Because even if you have food and water stored up, if you're trying to still operate and eat as you did, then you're going to run out pretty quick. So we're going to have to learn to do with less. And the main thing that you got to have, family, is water. Now, food, you can kind of make it, for a while without food. But water, 3 or 4 days tops, family, and you're in trouble. Your organs and things go to shutting down on you. And you're in serious trouble. Okay, you get dehydrated and your kidneys and heart and everything else, begin to fail. So you got to have water. So if indeed they send out some kind of stimulus package, be sure to use it to get things that you're going to need. Don't go out to no mall and buy no clothes and things like that. You can't eat them and you can't drink them. Get the things that you're going to need. But the most important thing is we're going to have to prepare ourselves spiritually to get through this, family. Okay? And, with the government in control, I would like to know, what would you give up, to be able to buy and sell and eat? I mean, would you give up your belief in the Most High in order to eat? I mean, what would you give up? And family, it's going to be a lot of people that turn away from the truth, lose faith. It's coming. You're going to see it. You're probably beginning to see some of it now. Now people are begging the government for food and money. And people have not reached out to the Most High. They're reaching out to man. And man is going to control you. If he gives you anything, it's a price tag come with it. You rest assured that. Okay, so what we'll do now, we're just going to some scriptures, all right? But we're going to discuss this thing today, family, because it's very important. So let's start off with 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. See, we're going to have a lot of falling away. People going to lose faith as these things get tougher and tougher, family. People are just going to panic. They're going to give in. And therefore, you're pretty much giving up your salvation, to eat, to live. Mark chapter 8, verse 35 through 37. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. For what shall a man profit if he gains the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange of his soul. What are you willing to give up? Are you willing to accept the mark of the beast to eat? Therefore, you're giving up your salvation. You've put yourself back in bondage, just as our ancestors did. So is it worth it? Yes, you may save your physical life by accepting it and being able to buy and sell and eat. But after physical death, you're in trouble, right? I mean, you've given up everything. You've given up your whole salvation. Many of us have spent 10, 15, 20 years walking in the Word, and soon as the pressure hits, we give it up. You know, we give it all up. So I pray that we're not in that group, family. We're going to have to learn to get out of our comfort zone, and we need to learn how to do it quick, you know. And Mashiach set a good example for us, family. This is why he came and operated in this world in flesh, just like we are. That's why, to show us the way to do things. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 14 through 16 says, "Seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens, Mashiach, the son of Elohim, let us hold fast our profession." In other words, let's hold on to what you believe now, what you profess. Verse 15, "For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted, like as we are, yet without sin." 16, "Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need." See, Mashiach set the groundwork. He set the example. And though it may be hard, family, I'm not sitting here trying to make like this is going to be a cakewalk. It's not by any means. You know, I would be a fool to even say that. It's going to get tough. And so we need to accept that and expect it and be ready for it. So let's go to Matthew chapter 4, and I'm going to read verses 1 through 11, and we're going to see how Mashiach handled it. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 through 11. "When Mashiach was led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of Satan, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward hungry. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the son of Elohim, command that these stones be made bread." See, family, Satan attacks you at your weakest point. He puts things before you that he knows that you need, that would be hard to turn down. This is the way he attacks you. He can't make you do it, but he sets choices in front of you that's hard to pass up, family. I mean, if you're hungry and stuff like this, and here's some wicked person or government come say, "Okay, we got food, but now you're going to have to worship on Sunday." What you going to do? That's the question. What we gonna do? Let's go to verse 4. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yah. Verse 5. Then the devil, taking him up unto the holy city, and set him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, if thou be the Son of Elohim, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give angels a charge concerning thee. See? And let's see. And in their hands they shall bear you up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Now, here's Satan quoting scripture to the word himself. That's just how bold he is. And this is what's going to happen in these days, family. People are going to manipulate scripture and use it against you to get you to sin. They're going to do that. What did Mashiach say to him? Mashiach said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Most High, thy Elohim. Well, where did Satan get that from? Satan was quoting to Mashiach from, what is that, Psalms 91 and 12, I think it is. That's the exact verse that Satan was quoting to Mashiach. Let me see, let me read it. Psalms, verse 91, verse 11 and 12. This is what Satan quoted to Mashiach. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. Verse 12. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against the stone. See? Satan quoting scripture. And we know this goes on in this world, family. People will manipulate scripture and change it around and use it against you, that was the attempt that Satan made with Mashiach. He quoted him scripture, and Mashiach just said, yeah, but it's written again, you don't tempt the Most High either. In other words, you don't intentionally put yourself in harm's way to try and tempt the Most High to move. You don't do that. And that's what he was letting him know. No, we don't do that. What else did he say? He said, verse 8 says, and again the devil taking him up to an exceeding high mountain, and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them. Verse 9, and said unto him, all these things I will give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Verse 10, then said Mashiach unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Most High, thy Elohim, and him only shalt thou serve. Verse 11, then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto Mashiach. See, this is the same attitude that this wicked government has. I'll give you this. I'll give you unemployment money. I'll give you $1,500 to take this shot for this virus. You can buy and you can sell if you worship on Sunday. See, it's about worship. If you worship on Sunday, guess what? You're worshiping Satan, not the Most High. So they're going to put all kind of things in front of us, family, to get us to fall away from the Most High. You know, if you read in Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25 and 26, it tells you that he's going to think to change times and laws and weary the saints. Now, we're not talking about no law of the land that he's trying to change. No, he's changing the Most High's laws, you know, especially the one about Shabbat. He's changing that law. They're going to make it mandatory, Sunday worship, family. It's happening already in other places outside of the U.S., but it's coming. Be ready. Like I say, what we say we believe, it's going to be a time to prove it. Okay? So, let's see what happened to our ancestors. What they were willing to do. Now, let's read Numbers chapter 11, verse 4 through 6. And the mixed multitude that was among them that fell a-lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again and said, who will give us flesh to eat? Verse 5, we remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. What else here? But now our soul is dried away. There is nothing at all beside this manna before our eyes. See, they were longing for Egypt again because it was in a comfort zone for his eating. And they didn't want what the Most High was providing. And that was manna. And that manna was actually the bread of life. Everything that your body needed to sustain itself was in that manna. No, it wasn't a steak. It wasn't a lamb chop and all that, but everything that was needed for your body to be fully nourished was in that manna, but they didn't want it. They'd rather went back into bondage so they could eat the way they've been eating rather than to eat that manna. See? So they were willing to give up salvation. They were really willing to return to Egypt just so they could eat. So are we willing to go back into bondage? Are we willing to return to Egypt to eat? Because that's what it is. Because the minute that you start bowing down and going against the Most High's laws to preserve yourself, you're going back into bondage from what he saved you from to start with. You're longing for Egypt so that you can get back in your supposedly comfort zone. You're willing to give up your salvation. You're willing to return to Egypt, so to speak. The ways of the heathen, so that you can eat. You're willing to give it all up. See, the thing, what we have to do, family, and I'm speaking to myself also. See, I'm not going to sit here and be no hypocrite and tell you about things that I'm not doing. See, because this applies fully to me because I haven't been doing like I should. For as fasting goes, you know, I need to separate myself from things too. Because when Mashiach fasted, right, for 40 days. Now what fasting does, it strengthens your spirit. You know, you're causing your body to adjust and go without the things that you normally give it. It's teaching you that you can survive with less. It strengthens your spirit. Yeah, your body may be a little weak, like Mashiach was. And this is when Satan tried to approach him in his weakened physical state. But by him fasting, his spiritual man was very much intact. And that's what fasting does, family. It teaches us to deny ourselves all these creature comforts that we're used to. You know, you can fast even from your cell phone. You can fast from TV. You know, in other words, we got to teach ourselves to be able to function without all these creature comforts. And I'm speaking to me also. Because like I say, I haven't been doing it like I should. Now, I'm a customer. I can actually eat breakfast and pretty much go all day without eating. But I don't do it on a regular basis. See? So I'm speaking to me too. It's a lot of things that I'm going to have to get used to not doing. See, I'm not going to get on here and be no hypocrite and start speaking to you like this message is for you. No, this message is for us. Me included. I'm speaking to me too. Because like I say, you know, I haven't done it right for as training myself to do without a lot of different things. But I'm going to start. You best believe that. You know, I prepared myself pretty good, you know, for food and water and stuff, but I need to prepare myself to be able to do without. Because if you can't control your body and its cravings, you'll run out of food in no time. If you think you're going to run in there during this crisis and famine and eat 3 times a day, you're terribly mistaken. You'll be out of food in no time. You're going to have to learn to stretch that food. You're going to have to learn to manage your water intake. You know, you're not going to die of thirst. If you got water and you cut back on it, you know, you'll be just fine. And there are a lot of religions out here in the world, family. They mostly don't eat but once a day, and some of them it only contains fruits and stuff, and they're just fine. In fact, they probably have less diseases than we do. You know, eating 3 times a meal, 3 meals, big meals a day, family, really not good for you, because you're not giving your digestive system a break. It's constantly busy. So fasting is important, and I need to practice it more myself, you know, and strengthen my spiritual being, my spiritual man, so that we'll be able to resist and be okay. But if we don't get this flesh under control and control the desires of this flesh, family, we're going to be in trouble. So we best start training ourselves now to do with less. We're going to have to. Let's go and talk about the widow. We're going to go to 1 Kings chapter 17, and we'll read 7 through 16. And it came to pass after a while that the brook dried up, because there had been no rain in the land. And the word of the Most High came unto him, saying, Arise, get thee to Zarephath, which belongs to Zidon, and dwell there. Behold, I have commanded a widow woman there to sustain thee. Now, the Most High is talking to Elijah. So here rose and went to Zarephath, And when he came to the gate of the city, behold, the widow woman was there gathering of sticks. And he called to her and said, Fetch me, I pray thee, a little water in a vessel, that I might drink. Verse 11. And as she was going to fetch it, he called to her and said, Bring me, I pray thee, a morsel of bread in thine hand. Verse 12. And she said, As the Most High Elohim lives, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel, and a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and die. In other words, she's saying, we only got this little bit here, and we're going to fix our last meal, and that's it for us. It's a famine, a drought. We can't grow no food. When we eat this, that's it for us. Okay? Verse 13. And Elijah said unto her, Fear not. Go and do as thou hast said. But make me thereof a little cake first, and bring it unto me, and after make for thee and thy son. He said, well, make me something first. And then you take the rest that's left and make something for you and your son. Verse 14. For thus saith the Most High of Israel, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Most High sends rain upon the earth. 15. And she went and did according to the saying of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days. Verse 16. And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither did the cruse of oil fail, according to the word of the Most High, which he spake by Elijah. Now, in her obedience, she took what little she had and obeyed the Most High and fed Elijah. How many of us, family, if we're down to our last meal and a stranger came and said, well, give me a little of that, and knowing that's it for you. You have no more food, no way of buying it, because we can't buy and sell. We can't do anything. How many of us would share that meal? I mean, we'll be ready to argue with the Most High. Wait a minute, Father, I obey you, but are you for real? I'm going to give my last meal, share it with this stranger, because after it's gone, we're in trouble. I mean, we'd be ready to argue, right? With the Most High, I don't understand this one, Father. Why should I give up my last meal? But that's where obedience comes and faith comes, by being obedient. And then the Most High will provide for us. I'm not trying to make this sound simple, it's a piece of cake, family. We can do that. No. I'm saying now that it's going to be pretty tough for us, family. There's no point in trying to dress this up and make it seem like it's a cakewalk. It's not. It's just not. Satan always attacks, family, when you're at your lowest or weakest point. Now, he can't make you do anything, but he sets these choices in front of you, and you're the one to choose. See, you're the one that make that choice to go against the Most High or remain faithful. He can't make you do it. So let's jump on over in Job and see if we can't figure out, how this works. And we're going to go to Job chapter 1, and I'm going to read verse 7 through 12. And the Most High said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Most High and said, From going to and fro in the earth and walking up and down in it. And the Most High said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth Elohim and hates evil? Then Satan answered the Most High and said, Does Job fear you for nothing? Hast not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he has on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. See, Satan said, yeah, Job fears you and obeys you. Look what you did for him. Verse 11, But put forth thy hand now, and touch all that he has, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Most High said unto Satan, Behold, all that he has is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thy hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Most High. See, in other words, family, when that test comes, when we begin to start losing all that we have, are we going to curse the Most High? Are we going to turn from him? Because of the difficulties we're going through, we've lost all that we are accustomed to. And this is where this government is trying to take people. Going to remove your independence and cause you to depend on a wicked system in order for you to live. So are we going to remain faithful to the Most High and trust him to provide, or are we going to fall for it? That's what we got to figure out now, family, and we're running out of time to get that figured out. Let's go to Job chapter 2, verse 1 and 7, because Satan wasn't through with him then. He saw that by the Most High allowing him to lose everything, that Job didn't turn on the Most High, right? So Satan come up with another plan. All right, let's see what happened. Job chapter 2, verse 1 through 7. And again, there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before the Lord. And Satan came also among them to present himself before the Most High. And the Most High said unto Satan, From whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Most High and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. Same thing he did in Job chapter 1. Verse 3. And the Most High said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that fears Elohim and hates evil? And still he hold fast to his integrity, although thou moved me against him to destroy him without cause. So the Most High said, well, see, I took everything from him now. You know, I took everything from him just to show you. And lo and behold, after I took everything from him, his wealth and everything, he still did not sin against me. He did not turn on me. But that didn't satisfy Satan. So what did Satan say? And Satan answered the Most High and said, Skin for skin, yea, all that a man hath, he will give for his life. But put forth thy hand now, and touch his bone and his flesh, and he'll curse you to your face. This is what the Most High, Satan is telling the Most High. We'll touch his body now, and he gonna curse you to his face, to your face. Verse 6, And the Most High said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life. So Satan went forth from the presence of Elohim and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown. But see, Job didn't turn in. You know, Job's wife just came to him, man, all this done happened and you still holding your integrity? You know, she said, just go ahead and curse the Most High and die. And Job said to her, now you talking like one of those foolish women. Now, he wasn't calling his wife a fool. He said, you're talking like a foolish woman. Telling me, you know, to go ahead and curse the Most High and die. I'm not going to do it. So, family, we stand to lose things. You know, we stand to lose the things that the Most High has provided for us. But are we going to curse him to his face? Are we going to remain steadfast, keep our integrity, and not sell out just to eat? Not sell out to take a vaccine which has all the ingredients in it, according to them, what we're not supposed to even touch. You know, it has pig cells in it and aborted fetuses, all kind of things that we're not to partake of. So are we going to accept it just to be able to buy and sell? Are we going to accept Sunday worship just to be able to buy and sell? See, we got to think about these things now, family, and get it in your heart now. How that we going to have to stand up now. You know, we're going to have to be like the three Hebrew boys when Nebuchadnezzar wanted them to bow down to his image, that golden statue he made. Now, the Hebrew boys obeyed the laws of that land as long as they didn't, wasn't in contradiction to the Most High's laws. But when he tried to have them to bow down and worship him, they said, nah, not happening. Now, the Most High can save us from this furnace if he chooses to. But if he does not, we want you to know right now, we're not bound down to that image. We just going to have to die. Okay? See, they didn't sell out. And so we can't bow down to worship an image of the beast, which is Sunday worship. We can't bow down either. If the Most High chooses to save us, he will. But if he doesn't, we still have to remain faithful. Because we will receive our reward. Just like the scripture said, those that lose their life for my sake and the gospel, those same people shall be saved. They even tried it with Daniel. They made a law that you couldn't worship no other God but their gods, which I think Darius was tricked into it by those folks that had a problem with Daniel. But even though Daniel knew that that law had passed, what did he do? He still went and prayed 3 times a day, like he'd been doing. He faced Jerusalem and prayed 3 times a day, even though he knew that that law was in effect and that it had a death sentence attached to it. And when they came and found him praying, he was sentenced to die in the lion's den. Now, did Daniel have any idea that the Most High was going to close the mouths of those lions? No, he did not. But out of obedience and loyalty and faith in the Most High, he kept right on praying despite that law. And we're going to have to keep on worshiping Shabbat on the day that was appointed to us by the Most High, even though they may pass a Sunday law. We can't honor it, family. We're going to have to do like Daniel. Okay, we know it's a law, but we're going to obey the Most High. We rather obey the Most High rather than man. And if the Most High chooses to protect us or save us because we is obedient, he will. He will. But if not, we still can't fold under pressure, because what happens to us after this physical life is what matters. This life is going to pass away. It's not going to mean anything anymore. What happens afterward is what is important. Okay? So family, we need to tighten up. Like I say, I got work on myself to do. You know. I'm not just preaching to you. I'm preaching to me too today. I got work to do. I'm going to have to start learning to do without a lot of things. May as well get used to it now. We're going to have to learn to do without these smartphones, because they're probably going to get shut down. You know, the internet may get shut down, you know. A lot of these creature comforts that we're used to, you know, we're going to have to learn to do without them. I mean, our ancestors did just fine, and they had none of this stuff. They didn't have smartphones and laptops, you know, and televisions. They had none of that. And so if they were able to survive, then we should too. Like I say, retrain your body to be able to do with less. You know, the best you can. Now, if you have any medical conditions that where you have to eat, you know, or if, you know, you'll become sick if you don't, then you have to. But don't eat any more than you really need to. And so we're going to have to learn to preserve, family. Whatever we got stored, we're going to have to stretch it. We need for it to last, you know, a few months. And we just going to have to count on the Most High to provide for us like he provided for our ancestors, even though they were unappreciative of it, of the manna. They were crying about what they had in Egypt. Well, in order for you to be able to go back to the store and eat 3 meals a day, are you going to return to Egypt? That's the question. Are we willing to give up our salvation, which we worked so hard to obtain and to keep for all these years, and give it up to return back to Egypt so that we can continue eating like we used to? I don't think it's worth it, family. What you think? I really don't think it's worth it. It's not worth it for me to accept some kind of little check or something in order for them to stick me with some kind of needle. Since when did the government pay people to take a shot? That ought to send off alarms all across your mind. You know. So we're going to have to get it together, family. 2021 is probably going to be pretty strange, pretty rough. I mean, 2020 was bad enough. But I believe, you know, in the net, this month is out in about, 3 or 4 more days. I think we're going to see a lot of things start happening. You know, we just have to be aware of how these people operate. We know that they had passed that stimulus bill, $600 a week and all that. But as soon as they passed it, then here comes Trump and say, no, that's not enough. Let's make it 2,000. Well, see, family, don't be fooled by that. Don't think Trump just has a heart for the people and want them to have $2,000 a month. They are all in cahoots. In order to keep from getting this money out to you, Trump just raised the ante to 2,000, which he know they wasn't going to pass and approve, so therefore it's going to delay even longer of you getting any kind of help from them. See? And I believe it's intentional because they want it delayed so that all the vaccines will be available, and they go to attaching it to unemployment and stimulus. See, these folks are wicked. And they all in cahoots. Do not think there's a difference between Republican and Democrat. It is not. Do not be fooled by that. Oh, that sounds good, what Trump said. $2,000 a person. But even at that, family, people been out of work for 6-7 months now. What is $2,000 going to do? They're $3,000 or $4,000 behind on their rent, their car payments, and everything else. And that's just a one-time payment. That's not going to fix all the financial problems that people have. But it sounds good, But I think that was just a ploy by them to be able to delay it. And they all playing their part. And now they're talking about, a government shutdown behind that. Because they can't agree. All right? So let's not be taken in by the statements and things that you hear come out of politicians' mouth. Because that's exactly what they are, politicians. They'll lie just for the sake of lying. All right? So let's get ourselves prepared, family. I hope I've said something today that would help us understand what's going on and what's possible to happen. Okay? We know that the Most High is in control, right? But we have to be prepared to go the long haul with this. All right? It's no shortcut to the kingdom. We got to go through things. Okay? With that being said, family, I say shalom.